Let's take a nice comfortable stance. We're going to be up on our feet. You can be as wide as is comfortable. All right, so let's establish this nice upright shape and get the arms swinging. So the formulaic approach to this guy is about 50 swings every 60 seconds for about 3 minutes. With the emphasis being mostly a backswing. Now, having said that, you can abandon those conventions and just go completely at your own pace and your own amount of forward and backward swinging. Maybe you want to go way up in the front. That's fine. Maybe you want to go really quickly. That's fine too. Maybe you like a leisurely pace. No problem. Maybe you like the backward converging, confirmed with a clap, or just a little tiny tap that you can feel. Last minute. Welcome to, try to reinforce a little more trunk strength, add some little glute squeeze. Draw the navel slightly back and in toward the back. Mildly retract your head. All right. All right. And then let's release that. Let's reach one arm forward. Turn the thumb out, external rotation. Present the palm forward toward the screen with the opposite free hand. Catch a finger and just do a little back bend. Just a tolerance. It shouldn't feel, too painful. Just kind of that nice feeling of a stretch. Even a little tiny mild pain. Ooh. So you're kind of maintaining the wrist flexion the whole time and then getting this little digit by digit move at the same time. Let's go one more time through the same hand. Externally rotated the shoulder, put the wrist on extension, turned open the elbow crease, and literally finger by finger, extending backward. Oh my God, that feels good. Okay, then the supinate move, where you could hold a bowl of soup on your hand. Let the opposite hand encourage a little more supination. Again, you'll feel a stretch, but not too intense. And then the pronate hand, like you're tapping somebody on the head, encourage a little more pronate. Encourage a little more supinate. Encourage a little more pronate. Supinate. Pronate, and release. Let's switch sides. So hand goes out in front of shoulder. External rotation. Backward extension through your wrist. 2 times through this guy. Digit by digit. Oh my God. You stretch. Oh, that feels so good. Híjole. Okay. One more time all the way through the hand. Give it a nice solid stretch. You definitely feel it, but it's not such intense pain you want to run away from. right, everybody. And then let's release that. All right. All right, I think I might have just missed the last move on that side. Sorry about that. So let's reset for a quick second. We're going to take both hands forward, turn both hands out, and back bend both sets of fingers. So now obviously you can't get any help from the opposite hand because they're both doing this guy. And release. Let me get back to it. I don't want to forget. I so rarely teach this guy. I lost track of it. So we're doing the pronate and the supinate, right? So the supinate, like you could hold a bowl of soup. You've got your normal amount of supinate. And then you're adding safely, but with some intensity, extra supinate. Pronate, and then you're adding some extra pronation. Couple more. Supinate. Oh gosh. Pronate. Supinate. Pronate. Last one. Okay. Let's shake it out. Shake it out low. All right. Let's go to one hand straight ahead. We're almost done with the wrist warm-ups here. And hold the hand like a hammer. And then just go like at that hammering angle. Usually this isn't so much of an issue as the extend, flex, pronate, supinate, but it's a nice angle to hit nonetheless if we're going to be really thorough. This is one you can add weight to eventually. Water bottle, 2-pound dumbbell, 5. Okay, and then opposite side. So arm out in front, holding like you're holding a hammer. Ooh, this wrist moves at a weird angle. Okay. Funky. Oh. Whew. Weird. Okay. And then lastly here, this was a favorite a couple months back, but haven't left it. Reach your arm out, supinated, like you could hold a bowl of soup on your palm, and gently release your head towards that arm. Wow, that feels good. Bring your head back to center. And then bring your hand up to the shoulder, the elbow up toward the sky, and let your head tilt away from that seam. So these are mainly side bends. If you put a little twist in it, it's all good. But mainly you just side bend ear towards supinated palm. Ear away from folding arm. Lifting elbow. Just drop into the sensation as much as you're able to. Really feel these guys out. Whether each one lasts 3 or 15 seconds, either way, all good. Oh my God, that feels good. And then finally, everybody make your way back to center. Woo. New side. Supinated. Slow, gentle release, like you're just letting your head, which you are, fall toward the supinated hand. Back to center. And then a slow, gentle release the opposite direction with head as you lift up your elbow. 1 minute. Oh my God, that really is such a great move. Last 20 seconds. Maybe you get through 1 or 2 reps. All right, everybody, let's reset and come back to the center. So, if you've been working with that kind of wider stance that whole time through, we've been at it for a little while now, come to a more narrow stance. Feet maybe 3-4 inches apart at the most. Let's bring the hands up to the heart. Just reconnect right here, everybody, to about 5 conscious breaths. Breath focus has not even been really on the menu yet, so just take a moment. Next, Ardha, which means half. Surya, the sun, over that away. Yeah, I encourage photo bombers. You guys are going to be on YouTube. Go for it. All right. And then Namaskar means a salutation. All right, so when you're ready, everybody, on inhale, float up the arms. On an exhale, hinge. Even if you slip in a breath in between, no problem, because we're going slowly. But on an inhale, extend out. On an exhale, hinge. And on an inhale, rise up through any means. And then hands back to the heart. I say through any means, but it's basically just, are you coming up with the flattish back? Are you coming up with the rounded back? Or are you kind of letting a little combo materialize, which is most likely, which is all fine, but just be aware. 4 more. Expansion. Flexion. Out to the horizon line. Down to the earth. Up to the sky. And back to your own heart center, both metaphorically and literally. 3 more times. Skyward. Earthward. Forward, downward, upward. Your own center. 2 more. As breath comes in, expand up. As breath empties, hinge down. As breath fills, expand forward, horizon line. As breath empties, hinge down. As you expand up, expand your lungs, inhale. As you reconnect, exhale, and just take a breath there. One more. Upward expansion. Downward flexion. Forward into a hip hinge. Downward flexion. Upward into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Awesome, you guys. So, let's add a couple steps. We'll get to it slow. I mean, I'll try to get a little flow going at some point, but you all know I don't like to purposely break the flow. Quite the opposite. But just, sometimes we break it down a little bit. Warm up. All right. So, Tadasana. Inhale. Reach up. Exhale. Hinge down. Inhale. Point out to the horizon line. Exhale. Flex down. And then walk your way into a plank position, like top of a push-up. 5 big breaths. Okay. Now the transition is just going to be coming down onto our belly. Nothing beyond that. No back bend quite yet. So just come down. From here, everybody, we're going to reach the arms forward. Like so. So my hands are about as wide as the mat, feet are about as wide as the mat, give or take. Almost right on point, but somewhere in that region for y'all. And then we're just going to barely lift the chest and the head. And barely lift the upper back. So I just kind of crept my hands in about 1 inch closer to my torso to get that extra lift. I'm going to walk them forward and come down. Same thing. So you lift the head, walk in the hands, just introduce your back to a little bit of beyond straight into the extension realm, and then come back down. First part, she lifts by herself. Second part, arms provide a little bit of a brace. 4 more. Head, upper trunk. Upper trunk comes down. As you move the arms, head releases on its own. Last one. All right, everybody. So from here, we're going to shift the hands down along the side of the ribs and come up to all fours. So those of you that need to modify because of your knees, you probably already know how to adjust at this point, but if it's okay, just with sufficient padding or adjustment somehow. We'll stay here just for a moment, all right? So we're going to do about 10 hip rocks. So I'm trying to keep neutral back, maybe even a tiny bit of bias toward the arch back, but let it slingshot forward and backward. I sometimes refer to this as no cat and no dog tilt, right? So you're moving on this plane instead of on this one, right? Okay. Then, great for the low back. Next one, just a little tail wag. Oh my God. When you let those hips really fall to one side, oh, nice for, as kind of a stretch for sciatica issues. Just great in that low back, upper outer hip. Depending on how much flexibility you have and how soft your ground is. Oh, I'm kind of lacking in the first department, but in abundance in the second. Oh, you might be able to fall all the way to the side. Oh, and just kind of let your hips drop. Maximum tail wag. Last couple. Oh my gosh, that feels good. Oh, goodness. That is nice. All right, we haven't done much of that full tail wag. All right, back to all fours, y'all. Tuck toes. And let's come into a downward facing dog. Again, in terms of convention, most of you practicing probably have a pretty good sense of dog pose. There's always a little something fresh about it every time you enter it. And you can explore it a little bit in novel ways. I'm kind of like continuing that tail wag from the all four move. Oh, which feels kind of nice up here. You can lift a leg. You can circle a leg if you lift it. You can lift a leg and bend and straighten. If you want to develop a lot more upper body strength, you could work on a few dive bombers. Just sort of like almost doing a push-up at a diagonal angle. So let's practice a one-legged transition, which we'll hit in the sun salute. Lift up the right leg, bend the right knee, and then big, adventurous step forward with your right leg. The idea is like once she lands, she's already in this right angle. But you just get as close as you can. Now that back leg, it's got to step forward too, but it's got all this help now. So you step her forward. Inhale, find the horizon line. Exhale, reconnect to the ground. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands back to the heart. Okay. Still not quite getting the full flow, but let's kind of put these pieces together now for the sun salutation A. Start in Tadasana. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hinge down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, hinge down. Plank pose, the top of a push-up. Leave your hands where they are, but come down to rest on your belly. Without your arms helping, lift your head. With a little tiny bit of arm assistance, lift your trunk. Shift to all fours. And dog pose. 5 big breaths.
Are you shocked? I didn't even go in the water.
When you're ready for the transition, let's do the left leg, just so you get efficient with both sides. Bend it in the air, and basically this is the shape of your leg when it lands. You just switch from extension to flexion. Then the back foot comes forward, lunging its way. Inhale, reach to the horizon line. Exhale, straight down toward the earth. Inhale, straight up toward the sky. Exhale, back to your own center. Let's put it all together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, fold. Plank position. Rest on the belly. Lift head, lift chest. Maybe lift a little more if your back bend's feeling nice and open. Tuck toes. Maybe all fours as just a very brief transition dog pose. Now we did a right-legged step, we did a left-legged step. You're welcome to repeat either one of those. There really aren't too many other alternatives. But one that we're going to explore as an option is to hop the legs forward. So you'd bend the knees and hop. Upon landing, inhale, get long, reach to the horizon. Exhale, hinge, flex, find the ground. Inhale. Straight up. Exhale. Reconnect to the heart. One more time. Why don't you guys just do one on memory? So if you missed one tiny increment in there, all good, no problem. I mean, you want to be able to have some version of it that you can just drop into sort of pretty much on your own. Okay, so let's do one guided round of Sun Salute B and then we'll move on. Sun Salutation B. Utkatasana, the squat. I'll just guide it the whole time through. We'll all do it together at the same pace. Uttanasana, the forward bend. Padagustasana, the reach toward the horizon line. For the very flexible hands can stay down on the feet. Exhale, hinge back down. Plank pose, top of a push-up. Now this one takes some muscle. Drop those knees if need be. Halfway down, chaturanga. Roll onto hands and feet only. Upward dog, so modify if need be. Flip over those feet, roll right over those toes, downward doggy. All that right leg and left leg stepping is also, laying groundwork for this guy. We transition one leg forward and then stay here and come up to a lunge. You can do this as Anjanasana, which is back heel off the ground, or as Vira 1, Back heel on the ground. Very traditional yogis tend to do Vira 1. A little more contemporary style, I think, is the lunge application. Plank. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha. Anjanasana, left foot, new foot forward. Maybe it's Virabhadrasana 1 for you. And then both hands down. Let's just finish it off, y'all. Plank. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Lightly walk or jump the feet. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale all the way down. Wrap it with a lunge. With a squat. And then the very last piece just coming up and out of that squat. Back to heart center. Nice. All right. So we're going to try a slightly different well. It's a different sequence than we've done before. Let's just try it. All right? So we're going to start with, no need to explain it, let's just experience. Okay. So sometimes I do need to explain it, but let's just get going. So any distance apart for your feet. 5 squats. So you can have the arms crossed out in front like this, which is kind of nice. You can have them on your hips. You can have them behind your head. And then one more. Next. 5. I know we've already been doing some. 5 push-ups. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, 5 right side planks. You can add a little leg lift at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 left side planks. With the leg lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice, y'all. Okay. Next. This is a little easier for me without the mat. So this one is, well, it's basically jumping 180 degrees. If you find that unpalatable, or like you're not even sure you want to risk attempting that, that's more of a Yoga X move, but sometimes we go even further there, so I'm hoping this is palatable for everybody. You could just do 90. So a 90 would obviously go 90 degrees and back. The other way, 90 degrees and back. Let's just try that, just to warm up to these. 90, 90, 90, 90. One more per side.
30 feet away. I don't know.
All right. Next. We're just going to stick with that for now. About 20 seconds, because it's got to be more than 5. Mountain climbers. That's plank with the legs really moving, churning, working. All right, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so here's the plan. We're going to do that again 3 times. I don't expect you to remember that sequence. First time we've ever done it. Those exact poses in this exact order. 3 squats. Uno. Dos. Tres.
I set up a graph of
Push-ups.
what I can do. You know, a graph of like what our talking point should be. Like for example,
1, 2, 3. Side planks with the leg lift. 1, 2, 3. New side. 1, 2, 3. Next, the 90s, or you can go to 180. Should be obvious, but let me do one demo. 180. 180. The other way. 180. 180. About 20 seconds. So either 90-90s or 180-180s. Last round. All right, last little bit.
Talking about. This is fine.
Mountain climbers. 20 seconds. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come up to kneel. We're gonna lean back. About 10 times. The quad should cook a little at the backward most edgy or lean. They'll probably work just even coming up. Last couple. Last one. Oh, goodness. All right, everybody. Let's come to a simple seat. So we're going to take the right foot against the inner left thigh. And then without turning, we're just going to hinge forward. Okay. Next, come up with your trunk. Same legs. Turn toward the straight one. Mine's left, but whatever your straight leg is, turn that away. And then hinge out over that straight leg. If you're very flexible, catching your foot might be totally in the cards. Maybe you want to lean into a little more round back if that feels good, or you want to reach a little further forward and max out that hip hinge. And with the same leg configuration, we got one more shape to create with the torso. Ease your way up. Twist toward the bent leg. Open the arms out to the equivalent of 9 and 3 o'clock. And then a side bend, which is different than twisting, obviously. You've twisted to bent. Side bend toward the straight. Now you got all sorts of opportunities with this arm that's in the air. She can go down and you can release the head, just like some of those neck stretches in the very beginning of the session. She can go up and even hold the back of the skull, which feels amazing. You can focus on the neck release or the neck hold, or even reaching that top arm all the way up and over to join the opposite hand on the foot. It's more lateral bend than twist. One more big breath here. Keep that leg configuration. Inhale, come up. Switch sides. So 3 in a row, Janu Shirshasana sequence. First you get the leg configuration. Then with no twist, hip hinge, and maybe some back flex. Round 2, more conventional Janu Shirshasana. Slowly come up and turn your trunk toward the straight leg, minus the right one. And again, hip hinge, slash back round to your contentedness till it feels like a nice stretch. Lastly, everybody, no hurry through these transitions in particular, but same leg configuration. Inhale, come up. Reverse the twist. Now twist toward bent leg. New dynamic, add the arms. And side bend toward the straight leg. Neck release is the emphasis. Could be your bag in this pose. Neck hold. Literally you hold on to the skull more than you do the neck, but supporting the head. Could be your jam. Maybe arm all the way up and over ear, trying to find that foot of the straight leg is your other option. Okie dokie schmokies, when you're ready, inhale, come up from there. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, so we are going to try the frog pose before we close out. That is a wide-kneed, equally wide-footed stretch for the inner upper thighs, hips, upper outer hips. Oh my God, low back. Oh, it's already intense for me. Right here. It doesn't even look like I've done much. So if I want it to be more intense, I've got two options. Push back more into my hips. Oh my God, I just did it. Drop down more into my forearms, but only if I lean back a little bit. Oh. I don't need to add those to this recipe. Or the knees could get wider. Last minute. This is often called Mandukasana. Some of you have probably heard of the company Manduka. They make kind of the high-end luxury mats. Well, it's named after this pose. Mandukasana. All right. Last few breaths here. Oh, it's cooking. It's awesome. All right. Coming out of this guy sometimes is a little challenging. All right, gingerly making that transition. Oh, back to normal width with the knees. And then let's come to a comfortable seat like this before we transition into Savasana. So we're just gonna do it's almost like what we do if we were lying on our back, hugging the knees toward the chest. We're just doing it from seated. And y'all track about 10 deliberate breaths here. Really try to fill that back body with your breathing. Gosh, that feels so good. This is a great shape to, you don't want to sit in it all day long, but to mindfully go into this flexion shape, this deep hip flex, to breathe into that backside, kind of take it to your edge range of comfortable motion. Excellent. So to transition, we're going to go into Shavasana for about 5 minutes, y'all. You can walk the feet forward. Scoop the tail under. And just roll back down. Oh my gosh. Like when that's executed optimally, you don't really even want to adjust it once you get down here. Like I often come down and fuss with it even after that hook of the tail, but it really got me exactly where I was hoping. It was the results I was hoping for, and I hope you get that sometimes, where you feel like you've put your back into traction and just lying back down, you are like set. The arms find a palatable shape. Please center your head. Always helpful to let the face relax as much as you're able to. We'll just find corpse pose here, 5 minutes. Vasuvaha Tatsavatu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yona Prachodayata. Alright, so please everybody begin to reconnect to all the sounds around you, which I'm sure you're doing. Also reconnect to your breathing sensations. Reconnect to any overt movement, wiggling fingers and toes, circling ankles and wrists. And if you have not done so already, please make your way up to a comfortable seat. Right, everybody. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste.